So, Casey, so you had been introduced to network marketing many times as a functional doctor. What was presented to you that caused you to say yes to Isagenix? What did you see?
I saw scientific validity. So Dr. Del Reyes, who had introduced me to Isagenix, and I was still a hard no, even when she'd introduced me to it and asked me questions that no other person in network marketing had asked me. And I told her I needed to see all of this science because I had been flying supplementation in from Sweden to nurture my clients here because nothing met my quality and efficacy standards as a practitioner. And I said, if you want me to be a part of this, I need to speak with whoever is in charge of all of your scientific validity, and I need to see all of the research studies. And within an hour after we got off Zoom, she had me in a three-way conversation with Sarah Richter, and I had every single scientific study in my inbox from Sarah Richter, and she provided me her personal information to ask for questions. And that's what I needed. So I read the scientific literature that was bestowed upon me that I was so grateful for. And I saw scientific validity that just blew my mind. I was like, why did I not know? Because I'd forgotten about Isagenix. To be truthful, Isagenix was presented to me right out of college, but I was an egotistical strength coach, to be totally honest with you guys. I wanted nothing to do with network marketing. A fellow strength coach had asked me to look at Isagenix, and I said, there's no way I'll put my name behind network marketing. And I'd forgotten about Isagenix. I totally forgot about it because no one else presented it to me until 12 years later. And so I looked at that research, Eden, and I was like, oh my Lord, this is better quality than what I was spending money on flying over from Sweden. And what we had here was just incredible. And I couldn't wait to get my hands on some of the products just to try them myself.
Amazing. How many of you have been in touch with, what did you call yourself? An egotistical strength and conditioning coach, like people inside of their space that think that they know it all, that just with continual exposures and the right timing, you can actually get them to a yes if you're committed to following up with them. So that's a huge nugget right there for those of you who are taking notes. And Casey, so understandably, you fell in love with the products. You saw what they could do for your clients that were superior to what you were using. What caused you to say yes to the financial opportunity? What was it that Del Rey asked you, or what was happening inside of your life that made you realize, like, no, I actually really need this income stream?
So Del Rey had asked me, so from the outside, everybody thought my life was perfect. I was traveling the world, and my work in my company that I own, you guys, I traveled the world and educated other FDNs and educated other strength conditioning coaches on how to guide their clients and their athletes down their hero's journey. So my background is not only just in functional nutrition and strength conditioning, but also in the leadership development of other health professionals. And I'd never been asked questions the way Del Rey asked me questions on that initial Zoom at the end of November in 2019. She'd asked me and said, are you happy? And inside I was dying, you guys, because little did everybody know I had a daughter, and I have one. Her name's JoJo. She's going to turn 4 in a month. And I had no time with her. I gave birth to her, and then it was my income that supported the family. So my husband, Trevor, got to spend all the time with her. He got all the first. And while I'm in my office speaking with clients around the world, I hear giggling in the living room. I hear Trevor excited about all the things JoJo's doing, and I'm missing it. So it wasn't that money was a problem. It was, I wanted time. I wanted away from behind the computer, and I wanted to see my daughter, and I wanted to be a better wife, and I wanted to be a better leader and a better woman and a better family member. And Del Rey said to me, when I initially had said no on the Zoom, if it wasn't for her posture and the questions that she asked, I wouldn't have been here. She said, Casey, if you don't do this or look at this, if not this, then what? Where will you be in 5 years as a wife? Where will you be as a mother in 5 years? Where will you be as a business owner? Will you be happy in 5 years if you continue down the same path that you're on now and you change nothing? And I remember looking her in the eyes, and I got tears in my eyes, and I said, no, I won't be happy. And that's when she said, give me a chance to show you something that's different, to show you that we do it differently. So I said yes. And so then saw the scientific validity. I didn't come in on a pack. As an FDN, I wanted to try a hodgepodge of things. I wanted all the adaptogens. I wanted to try, so I came in on cleanse, shakes, bone broth, a hodgepodge. And so I just tried the products first, shared it with a few clients, and I accidentally released 22 pounds. I didn't think I had 22 pounds to lose, but well, you know, there goes the cleanse. So, and I was just happier. Trevor, like my husband noticed, everyone noticed, like I felt like I was literally lit up like a Christmas tree. And then it was at the end of January. That's when I say I truly started. It was the end of January. My daughter had ear tube surgery and I wanted to just hold her for an hour. And if you guys were at NYKO, I put a picture up on the screen of what the moment that I said yes. It was, I was holding her. My clients are barking down my phone. I needed an hour of my daughter's time. I mean, give me a 2 in the chat if you just wanted time. I didn't want to be bothered. And then my email went off and I was like, oh gosh. And I looked at it and it was an Isagenix email and it said, you've been paid. And I was like, what? And it was an amount, it was a little over, closer to $700. And I immediately called Del Rey while my daughter was asleep. And I said, Del Rey, Isagenix made a mistake. And she was like, what? I was like, I just got paid. I got paid like $700. And she was like, oh no, that's yours. And I said, how? And I didn't know the language. She was like, oh, you earned PIBs, all these things. No idea what she was saying. All I literally heard was, this is your vehicle for time. So I immediately started crying and I was like, heck, if I did that, I can do this. I can do this. Like I can literally do this. If I didn't even know I made a little over $700, I can totally do this. And so that was when I said, I can do this. It was at that moment, I then ran like ignorance on fire.
So awesome. I mean, time is everything. I heard somebody say recently, and I think this will stick with me together forever. They said that the greatest flex right now in today's world, the greatest flex is time. It's not even money. People, yes, want more money, but what they really want is more time. So thank you for highlighting that as your big reason why. Because for practitioners who are out there, holistic health practitioners, personal trainers, anybody that's doing a one-on-one service, this even is true for all the beauty pros, estheticians. We have so many of those who have been attracted into Isagenix with collagen. That's the biggest challenge is if they don't show up, if they're not interacting with the client, if they're not doing an hourly session or fulfilling on a package, they're not getting paid. And so they're missing out on so much of their life. So, a huge nugget from what you shared, Casey, I think is Del Rey's willingness to have that posture and to ask some of those tough questions that sometimes we shy away from. Drop a 3 in the chat box if sometimes you shy away from powerful questions because you don't want to turn somebody off and you don't want to lose them and you don't want to push them too hard. But that's what people require from us sometimes, to be able to wake up like, all right, Casey, well, if nothing changes in your life, if everything continues with the way that you're going right now, where will you be in 5 years? How will you feel? That's a really powerful question to get somebody to sit back and think, oh my God, like nobody's actually asked me that before. What would it be like? Holy hell, that sounds horrible. So really, really powerful. I mean, seriously, because if nothing changes, nothing changes. And we have the opportunity to ask people some of those challenging questions. That's why they're all built into our templates, where you might feel like, especially like, for example, inside of the discovery process, which of course lives on our training site, when you're asking somebody the whys to help them identify why would they want to do this? Well, why is it important to you that you earn an extra blank number of dollars a month? Why is that important to you? To like really drill down into the deeper layers. And for Casey, it was about being a more present mom and a present wife and really being available and participating in the raising of her child. So thank you so much for sharing that. So